Hey, check it out. Here's some new features that are coming to Rapido. So here's my task list application. If I edit one of these, you'll see some cool new features. So first of all, I can choose the category with this spinner, and I can also set the priority with this spinner. And also, the priority has a defined minimum and maximum. So this is the standard application that we use for examples, the task list application. As you may recall, by naming the fields correctly, we can get some functionality. For instance, this form is created with no code, and you get the right input fields for the type of field that it is. So priority is a number, it's an integer, and we get an input field for that. But let me show you how you can go a little bit past that and do some customizations to change the way that your users interact with it. It's with a new feature called field options. So here we are back at the document list, and this is where I define the labels. And now I'm going to define some field options. And field options are a map. And it's a map of fields that you want to provide options for, and then options for that field. So for an integer field, I can provide a min, which maybe is we want to be 1, and a max, which we want to be 10. So I'm saying here that for this field, I would like for the pry count field, like the minimum to be 1 and the maximum to be 10. Okay, now that it's restarted, we should come and see that the priority can now be set with this spinner. And of course, the spinner has a maximum of 0. Oh, a maximum of 1, a minimum of 1, because I told it to have a minimum of 1, and a maximum of 10. So we'll just cancel out of that. Okay, now let's say I want to make another change. That instead of the date, I want to include some kind of category. Okay, so let me go back and work on that. Here I am, and I'm going to say that this wants a category. Give it a category here. Okay, so now there's a field called category. I got rid of the field called date, and I wanted a field called category. But sometimes you don't want the user to put anything for category. You want to have a list, just a specific list for categories. So what I did here, up here you can see I created another document list. And this document list has 3 documents in it with the name shopping, housework, and errands. Okay, so let's see how I can use that for another field option. So again, the key is the field is the category, and now I'm going to pass in some different field options. First thing I'm going to say is that this is an input list that I want for this. And so what's the input list? The input list is actually the doc type that I named that document list, okay? So give it the doc type. It's called task types. And now I need to tell it a couple things. First, I need to tell it what field in those documents to use for display. And that is called name because it's the only one. Okay, but then I also need to tell it what field to use for values. In this case, it's also going to be name. But you can imagine that I might display one thing for the user to choose, but really that tracks a different value. That's very common to have the items display different than the items that they're tracking. In this case, it's the same, so I'll just set them to the same field. So now if I hit save here, okay, it's restarted now. And you can see that I've already been playing with it a little bit, and I set that to shopping. So now you can see the effect here is that there's those items, those categories that I defined are available in this dropdown. Okay, but maybe I'll create another one, which is to drop off laundry. And that's not really shopping, is it? That's more of an errand. So I'll scroll that into place, and I better choose a priority for that. What priority? I would say that this is a 6 priority. Save that.